Right, we are live. Hey everyone, it's Anthony and Nick at Talk and Review, and we're coming with a live review today. We do have a special guest that you can see down there. Welcome, Tony from Fragdicted. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. Thanks for having me on. Really
Good.
appreciate
Well,
it.
it's our pleasure. It's our pleasure, mate. Always nice to have you on. So today we're going to be going over a live review, and we've all got this fragrance, which is why it's nice to all get us in the chat about this one. And this is Milton Lloyd's Victor No.9. My bottles are slightly different to your bottles because I think I just got the smaller bottle. Mine looks slightly ruder, but
cheapskate.
Definitely at this price, mate. So it's Victor No.9 by Milton Lloyd. So Nick's going to go over a little bit more about the company behind it, and then we'll go further into the review about what's actually in the fragrance and what we think about it. So I'll pass over to you now, Nick.
So Milton Lloyd is a London-based family business. They've been around since 1975, which really surprised me. And this particular fragrance is part of a sort of selection, and where it's named Perfumer's Choice. With these particular collections, this was based on some of the leading perfumers choosing the type of notes that are in this fragrance. So I think there's only 4 or 5 of these where they're named Perfumer's Choice, and that's because there was some selective perfumers that created these fragrances. But yeah, other than that, it's a London-based company. Cool. Tony, do you want to go over the notes?
Yeah, let's go over the notes. So the notes on the website aren't, I don't know if you've noticed this, boys, but they're not very particular. They don't go into much detail. So we'll take from it what we want from the notes. But like in the top, it says that it's got citrus and fruity, 2 separate words. And yeah, so it's very pinpoints exactly what's in it. And then we've got aromatic floral. And I take that as being some spices and a floral note in there. And it says woody. So woody in the middle. Yeah, woody. And then we've got oak moss, vanilla, and musk. So that's a little bit more pinpointed what's in there in the base. So yeah, I think they probably can't be too accurate as to what's in there for reasons.
Yeah, definitely.
I would imagine.
Yeah, more legal reasons than anything else.
Purposely vague.
Yes, definitely. Cool. So we go straight into how does it smell and compare to Aventus?
To what?
Aventus.
Has anyone never heard of that?
I've never heard of that. I had to look it up.
Yeah, we all might have had a bit of experience. Have any of you tried or got the real thing with Aventus at all?
Yeah,
have you?
Yeah.
I've tried it. I've not got it, but I've definitely tried the real thing. Yeah.
I had a really old batch before I knew what Aventus was.
Excellent.
I wasn't really into it, and I sold it. And then as I got into fragrances and started to like the Aventus smell, I was like, oh shit, I sold the
epic fail.
Yeah.
Awesome. I've not got the original. Would you guys own it? Would you own it? Well, would you buy it now?
At the price point that it goes for retail, I probably wouldn't, considering how many clones are out there and how close some are quite far away, but how close some are. I probably wouldn't for the price point that it's at the minute.
I've got to get out of interview mode, but what if they were gifted to you? Would that be a different story? So a nice Christmas present or something?
Oh yeah, definitely for me.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to say no to like the king, are you? But yeah, I think from a purchasing standpoint, I don't think I would. But yeah, of course, I'd take that with a smile on my face if someone wanted to buy it for me. Anyone?
Yeah, exactly how I feel. Exactly bang on how I feel about it. So I don't think I could justify spending the money, yet I still want it in my collection. Weird.
Yeah. So if anyone out there wants to buy 3 bottles of Aventus All you have to do is just DM us. We'll give you our address. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Nick. Or you crack on, mate.
You said you had a few stories that you wanted to go over related to the fragrance.
Yeah, I've got a couple. So in terms of compliments, we'll talk about your compliments if you've had any afterwards, but you've asked me, so I'm going to go first. I love waffling. Get told off for it often. You can tell me off. I'm used to it. It's fine. I'm used to getting a slap or a little tap on the leg to say, shut up.
Bex is going to come in a minute.
Yeah, exactly. She'll come in and slap me. She's in the room, isn't she? She is.
She is, yeah.
Excellent. Hi, Bex. Hello upstairs. So yeah, I've got a couple of good stories. So the first one is I was working, and I used to spray out of this, and the reason for that is because you haven't got a choice. So you press that trigger and it's on. It's going. So I went to work. I had not long sprayed it. I think I sprayed it in the car before I just walked into the building, and I had someone there waiting for me. They got there early, and they were waiting to pick their new car up. And I walked past them and said, "Morning, I'll be back in just a moment. Grab a seat." And straight away, the lady was like, "Oh my God, he smells amazing!" And I'd literally just sprayed it about a minute earlier. So I thought, "Oh," I said, "Turn around." I said, "Oh, thank you." And then I came back, and literally, she did not leave it alone. She was constantly. She was there with her husband. She's like, "I've got to get you some of that. I've got to get you some of that." And when you feel like saying, "They're like, what is it? What is it?" And I was like, "Do I say Creed Aventus?"
Yeah.
But I didn't. I came clean and showed them on their phone. And I've not had to do that yet, where someone's gone, write it down for me. And I've heard other people do it. But that's my only time that's ever happened, and that's with this fragrance. And I have a lot of fragrances now. So that was one of the biggest compliments I got. And honestly, throughout the whole handover, she kept saying, "You smell awesome, you smell lovely," and loads of compliments. So that's happened. And the second lovely story was actually in not nice circumstances. One of our good friends' wife unfortunately passed away, and we went to the funeral, I went to the funeral, and a lot of my close friends were there, and I was hugging people, which you do, and it's the wrong circumstances really, but virtually every single, I wouldn't say man who I like men hugs, they didn't compliment me, but every single woman I hugged pretty much said, "Oh, you smell nice," and like loads of compliments in one time under the wrong circumstances, but a really nice story. And you know what? I'll always remember that fragrance because that's the nice association I've got with it. Really, not so much that one, but it will always remind me of going to that funeral. So I think that's wrong association, but a nice one at the same time. So
yeah, it's got a nice sentiment to it, hasn't it?
Yeah, really nice sentiment to that fragrance now. So I don't think I could be without it now, actually, because of that. I think I will keep it, and it does get compliments. It really does.
Definitely. I think for me, the first time I smelt it was on someone else, and I knew it was some type of Aventus. So I had to. It was a guy, obviously. Yes, but what have you got on? And he said Milton Lloyd. We have at our work, we have like a perfume lady that comes in, and he was like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, it's great, mate. It's great.
Before payday, sets up a little stall, and you can go downstairs and have a look at what aftershaves or perfumes that she's got.
That's wicked.
And if you can't afford it that day, she does a little scanner, and then she'll just take it out when it's payday.
On payday.
Yeah, so it's a good money scheme. But yeah, she had this, and I was like, definitely need to get myself a bottle. I haven't got any specific scenarios of where I get compliments with it, but for me, I feel anyway, it works really well and lasts longer when I spray it on my clothes because of the type of spray it is. But yeah, it's just really good for me. What about you, Ant? Have you had any like stick out compliments?
No, nothing that sticks out in my mind. But this is more of a lockdown purchase for me, so it's not really something that I've really had to chance to go out and wear in the masses. But that being said, the opening, the really really fruity opening, does remind me of Pineapple Sauvage by Pocket Sense, and I have had compliments off that previously. So if you're looking at it comparatively, the opening, the real juicy pineapple element of it has had me given me compliments before in the past, and I can't imagine this. Well, I can imagine probably this getting the exact same kind of response, because this is very, very similar in the opening. It's one of the things I absolutely love about this, actually, because I can't, and I've spoken about it before, I can't get enough of the opening of Pineapple Sauvage, and this is almost identical to it, with that really strong pineapple opening. So I love it. But yeah, it's not something I've had a chance to get a full wearing of out in the open, considering the world we're living in at the minute. But yeah, it's definitely one that I keep reaching for, especially when the I mean, I know that obviously the last couple of days the weather's been absolutely shocking, but as soon as the sun kind of like pokes its head out, it makes me want to reach for it a little bit more. And I can't get enough of the atomizer, if I'm being honest. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's like you said, a couple of spray, like literally a second or two, and you are drenched. You are drenched in it. So you have to get moving. Yeah, I mean, look at that.
Look at that.
It's mad. You put that too close, and you're dripping.
Yeah,
I don't need a shower now.
So how do you? Tony, I'll ask you first. How do you compare it to Aventus? So I assume you've smelt the original Aventus. So how do you?
I've got a little
got
a little decant there that Mark from Your Average Frag had sent from his bottle, and I think there's more citruses in the top. They last a little bit longer. They stay with the fragrance longer than Aventus, in my opinion, but it's not as woody or as aromatic as Aventus is.
Definitely.
So it stays a lot more linear than Aventus does. But one of the things a lot of people love from Aventus is the opening, and that stays with this fragrance a little bit longer, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one thing I would say about the Milton Lloyd, don't go into it completely thinking it's going to be quality, because at the cost, it's not going to be. It has got that slight alcohol harsh opening in terms of there is a little blast of alcohol, and there's a little blast of it's quite synthetic. It is quite synthetic, but I use it. I think because of the atomizer, when you spray it, you're naturally going to get cloves and other things along with it. And
I think it'd be impossible not to.
Yeah, so I think you're getting it on clothes. I think it lasts very well because of that as well. I think it's a great alternative, personally. I really do.
Definitely.
How about you? What's been like? Do you think it compares at all?
I think it does. I think that obviously there's the huge kind of differences between the batches of Aventus, and I won't ever go as far as saying that I've tested out loads of different batches and stuff like that. I think I just tested out one. It was like, yeah, this is really nice. I can see why everyone likes it, and you get a lot of the clones that compare to it. I guess I tested out a more fruitier batch because I can really see the similarities between it. But I think you're spot on, Tony, with what you said. For the price point of what you're paying, you're looking, £7 for 50 ml, 13, 14 quid for, I think it's 83 ml or something like that, those bottles. You're not going to be getting, your niche style quality fragrances, are you? You're going to get what you pay for. That being said, it's not a bad fragrance at all. It's really quite pleasant. Like I said, I'm reaching for it more and more because of what it smells like. And if you like the opening of Aventus, you are going to like this fragrance. I think it's quite plain and simple that way. It, like you said, it doesn't develop as Aventus does, but if you like it for the opening and that is the main kind of source of attraction for you, you can't go wrong. And especially for the price, you really can't go wrong. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer if that's what you like.
100%. Nick, what about you? Do you think it compares then? Or?
Yeah, I think it's a sort of different variation. So when I first started getting into Aventus, I wanted to try all the different variations of it. So I had the Club de Nuit, or the Parfums Vintage, and quite a lot of them have more focus on the woody element of Aventus, whereas I feel that this is just pure fruitiness, which I think makes it stand out a bit more from all the other clones. Probably say one of my favorite ones is the Emperor Extrait from Parfum's vintage.
Yeah.
I'd say that's quite a balanced Aventus version. Club Dunaway, I just love the freshness to that, and that one stands out for me because I get lots of compliments. It lasts long, but again, this one stands out because of that fruitiness that none of the others have, and it's not got that much of. I think it's the sort of birch that everyone sort of associates with Aventus for that woody vibe, whereas I think for me this is just pure fruitiness in a bottle.
You know what it reminds me of? It quite similar to the Perfume Parlour's version of Aventus, the Avalanche. I think it's Avalanche Fruity, or I think something along those lines. But I find it very, very similar to their. I know they've got multiple variations of different batches and things like that, but their most popular one that is just, I think it's just called Avalanche. It reminds me quite a lot of that in terms of the similarities to the interpretation of Aventus. So yeah, like I said, leaning heavily more on the fruity side. But I suppose that leads into the next question. Given the fact that this is one of many clones out there of Aventus, where do you think this stacks in terms of closeness, and secondly, your personal preference, Tony?
Okay. Yeah, I think it's just clarify. I thought I'd let Nick go first, Richard. But no, thank you.
You're the special guest, mate. You get the special treatment.
Well, thank you. Have you got a cake?
No, not.
No. I think it does add something different to the other ones. I think you're right. Now, I've not tried all of the Perfume Parlour versions. I've not actually got one from Perfume Parlour. I have got Avalanche Rouge, which is their BR540 and Aventus together as a fusion clone. And actually, the opening that has got quite a lot of sort of a pineapple-y vibe to it. So I could imagine the Avalanche Fruity that you mentioned, Dan, is probably quite close to this, I would imagine, because of the extra fruits in it. But I just think because of the way you can wear it, it's a bit of a dumb reach, and you could wear it out of the shower, you could wear it in the summer, and I think with the spray, you could take it to a gym. I think you wouldn't do that with Aventus because of the price. And I just think it's a great gym bag fragrance in terms of chucking it in the gym, and you can give yourself a little spritzer. And even if you like putting your top on or whatever, taking it off, you could just use it more like a body spray, if that makes sense, because of that.
Absolutely.
It gives you that sort of Aventus fix without worrying about burning through a bottle. Now, this is my second bottle of this size of this, and my son had the smaller bottle you've got, Ant, as well, and he burned through his. Now, it wasn't all me. I got this early on in my journey, and my bathroom would smell of it constantly. It actually made Bex a little bit sick because Josh was smelling of it all the time as well. So because he'd get out the shower, and before he came out because he'd use our ensuite for the shower, come out and spray it all over himself. And I think that she got fed up with it because our bathroom just constantly smelt of it. But it's in the garage now. It's in the correct place you should store your fragrances, and it doesn't get reached for as much because of my growing collection. But I've got a real fondness to it, as you can probably tell. I think it does differ to other things because of that sort of body spray type vibe that I think it's got, definitely.
I think I was reading online that people were recommending to buy the 83ml rather than the 50ml because they were saying that the oil concentration is a little bit lower on the 50ml. So I'm not too sure if that's the case or not, but that's what I was reading online. A lot of people go for the 83ml just because I think that the performance is a little bit better on the bottle.
Yeah, I've seen something similar. The only reason I bought the 50ml was simply because of everything else I've got there. I'm just kind of like thinking there's no way I'm going to go through it anytime soon. But given the fact that it sprays like a Lynx bottle, I might have been wrong.
Yeah. So let's go on to performance. So how do you feel the performance overall is, Tony?
Slightly better than average. It doesn't last all day. You probably will get slight faint of whiffs on clothes, which is inevitable because of the way it sprays, like we said. But it's better than average. It's not poor. It's definitely worth the price point on that performance, if that makes sense. I think everyone's got a cut off of where it would be. If you're spending £13 on something that's going to last an hour, it's like that old saying that why spend the money because it's cheap? You don't need it if it's good. But I certainly get probably 4 hours easily from it, easily, and probably a lot more. It probably does linger a lot longer than I think it does, because I think that old factory sort of setting where you can't smell things on yourself does set in on this fragrance, a bit like it would on Dior Sauvage in that respect. But yeah, no, better than average. 4 hours on me at least, but I would say probably longer. But that's you'll definitely get 4 hours from it confidently, I think. What about you?
Absolutely. I actually, for the purpose of this review, I'm not wearing this today, but I'll put some on the back of my hand at 4:30 earlier on. I made sure I checked the time because I knew that we were going live at 9:30. So I thought, well, if give 5 hours, that should, because the last time that I put it on, I got what I could from the time that I kind of like mentally took down. I got about 4 or 5 hours out of it. It's still there lingering in the background. I have been washing my hands because I've been cooking and cleaning and stuff like that. So I have been obviously just cleaning my hands and stuff, but it's still there. It's not as obviously as strong because we're 5 hours, 5.5 hours in now. But yeah, absolutely. I would say that on skin, on clothes, as you're wearing it casually and normally throughout the day with wind blowing and things like that, you would get at least 4 hours easy. Look at that on a school night.
I'm not at work tomorrow. That's why I'm having a beer. I'm not
your
working
Friday.
It is my Friday. I'm having a beer. Cheers, lads.
Cheers. Yeah, but I would totally agree, Tony. 4 to 5 hours that I would get out of this one. And I suppose it really depends on how long you're pressing down on that trigger for. Obviously, you don't want to choke yourself out, or if you're going to be around anyone, you don't want to be choking them out either. So with a generous but not too generous spray, I think you would get 4 or 5 hours out of it easily.
Yeah, I'm still swimming in it a little bit here. Just that spray, I can still literally, it just keeps wafting.
Yeah, I noticed that as one of the things because of the way that the atomizer is. Yeah, the sillage is massive, and not even if you're not spraying it on yourself, you're just spraying it into the air to test it. It does, because of the way that it distributes itself. It does linger in the air quite a long time. Like I've sprayed it before and walked back into the room that I sprayed it in, maybe like half an hour later, and you kind of go, "Wow, okay, it's still there," which is another, I suppose, good thing about the atomizer. Yeah. How about you, Nick?
Yeah, I think overall, the performance, I think I agree with you, Tony. I think it's a little bit above average. It's nothing fantastic. It's not a sort of beast mode fragrance, but I think it's, for me anyway, in the office, it still gets noticed. But yeah, it's not one that's going to last 10, 12 hours. It's just, it does what it's supposed to do. And if you need to top up, then you can have a little squirt.
There's a lot of fragrances that you could buy for £10 or 12 quid. I think that you can get this as low as £10 on eBay now, 80 francs or something now.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there's a lot of fragrances you can buy that will just go in an hour. So much crap out there that you just literally spray it, you spend a tenner on it because it's cheap and it's gone, and you just think, well, that's a waste of money. Whereas this does not do that. So if you're watching the live and you watch this back, or you watch it and you're worried about that, just because it wouldn't be, I don't think it'd be redundant in anybody's collection, actually, just because it's cheap. I really don't.
Totally agree. I bought a bottle of, I think it was called Man Silver Summer by Zara, and it was I think it was $9.99 for 100 ml. I thought it's just a cheapie. It's nice enough, but it literally does last maybe an hour and a half, 2, and that's the difference between this, because like you said, you can either buy cheap and get cheap performance, or you can get this one and get above average performance and a really nice smell as well. So yeah, I think if anyone's in the comments and is wondering whether or not it's worth buying, I think we're unanimous in the decision to say that it's actually worth the money, considering it's only very, very cheap, because it is a bit of a favorite buy, not just not just us for wearing it, but the compliments you seem to get from people as well, both male and female, because Aventus is one of those that seems to attract quite a lot of attention from the males as well. And that's something that is obviously a talking point for quite a lot of people, is that it attracts more men than women, even if it's not a man.
Definitely.
So yeah.
Shall we nip through the comments before we wrap up?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't, because there's a load of losers in there. I'm just looking now, and they're just giving me grief, I think. So
something about your hands there, Tony. You got special magic hands, or?
No, this is a thing going back with Luke. Becca took a picture of me on Instagram holding the Mont Blanc picture.
Famous hands, mate.
Yeah, Luke's fallen in love with the hand. Luke's fallen in love with it, and
the claw.
The claw. Have you ever seen those? Don't take offence, like lovely ladies in the room, but have you seen those claw pictures that people put on to show their nails on like Instagram and stuff like? With sharp painted nails. I don't like it. It scares me. Let's go to the comments, Nick.
Let's have a look. So, David G says, "What's the letter on Tony's T-shirt? It's not an F, is it?"
It is. It's not an F for Fragdicted, though. It's Feeler. I've gone old school.
I've heard that collaboration's in the pipeline, though, right?
Definitely. Yeah, I'm just doctoring the lettering for my own logo, I think.
So Luke says, "Look at Tony flexing his large living room."
It's not a large living room. It's the wide-angle lens of my camera. It's definitely not too large. It looks big from that angle. I can see it in the picture, but it's not.
John says, "Never thought I'd utter these words, but Office for Men is cheaper."
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, yeah. In terms of Aventus, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a good question, Nick. Given the fact that how much I know that you love Office for Men, what would you prefer, Office for Men or Aventus, regardless of price, solely on what you get from it?
It would still be Aventus. Yeah, just because you can use it for anything. Yeah, and I just love the Aventus smell anyway.
I'm going to be controversial with the Office fragrance, because I don't think it. I've seen it probably. I did review it on. I touched on it on Steve's channel when he made me blind test it, and I knew it was it straight away because of the reviews you'd seen. You knew that Sauvage sort of ambroxin, heavy ambroxin. You knew that I'd get that immediately, and I did guess it quite quickly. But it's I've bought a 10ml decant of it, and I am burning through it. I'm really enjoying it. It's really strange, but it's not worth the money. But I'm really enjoying it. Again, if someone bought me that as a present, I would love it.
Yeah. Hint, hint. No, I'm doing the same, mate. I bought the 10ml date and the 10ml Office bottles because it was when he was doing the promotion, buy one get one free. So I thought, if I get the date, I'll get the Office free. I think I've got both of them. Then I'm finding myself reaching for Office a lot. The heavy ambroxin is just it's quite addictive. I find, and if it wasn't as expensive as it is, wait for a couple more. Maybe he'll throw another 60% off. Maybe one day might reach for it then. But I'm not about to spend 130, 140 on it. I just don't think I can justify it. I like it, but just not that much.
Cool. We'll go through a few more comments and then we'll wrap up. So Mark Robes says, it says dipping, but I'm guessing I'm dripping here on that. Definitely. Let's have a look. If there was,
I was going to be really crude there, but I'm not going to be.
Don't worry, it's past watershed, mate. You can crack on.
I'll get in trouble when I go upstairs, though.
This channel, Fragdicted Snap, says, "Who's the dude at the bottom?"
It's David Beckham. Been told it on a number of occasions. It must be true. So I'm either one of two things. I'm an overweight. What was someone said? I am a. No, the words were, I'm going to swear now. Close your ears, people that don't want to hear it. Fuck me, Ryan Clark's let himself go. So that's one. Or I'm a fat David Beckham. I'm one of the two. So I'm a fat version of celebrities, which is nice, isn't it?
I see the similarities to Beckham. Maybe not Rylan.
But I haven't got his teeth.
Some comments about the hair, Tony, looking slick.
Thank you.
Absolutely loving the special guest tonight, guys.
I thought I would. I went for a black market haircut. I'm going to be honest. Luke gave me inspiration from that because he's a criminal, and I thought, well, if he can get away with it, I'm gonna. So I am openly going to admit that Bex did a wonderful job the last time, but I had the cheek to text someone and say, "Are black market haircuts a real thing?" That was a hint. It was a big hint, basically. And it worked. So I didn't go out to a salon, but hey, someone came round.
I've got mine booked in for when my hairdressers open up. I cannot wait. When I found out that they were taking bookings for it, I felt like Christmas. So I was like, I just can't wait for that. So I mean, it seems like it's ages away yet, but it's I'm very, very excited for it. I'm wearing my hat a lot recently.
Right, so should we finish up with this last question? I wonder if Tony has heard of the vagina
candle. Have you ever heard of this mysterious vagina candle, Tony?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Now, it got me thinking of whose foof I'd like as a candle. So that's what it got me thinking about. So I was thinking, right, I'm not really bothered by her foof, but whose foof would I like as a candle? And oh dear, would that smell good anytime? Come on. Dear, oh dear. No, I don't think. It was hilarious. That live, by the way, congratulations on that live, because I was at work, I think, and I had you in my pocket and I was listening, and I was just like, this is hilarious. I'm missing out in the comments here. You know, those eyes where I'm here for the comments, because I knew the comments would be on fire. And I just kept getting my phone out when someone wasn't around, like having a little look. And I was like, right, I'll just put one comment and then I'll put it back in my pocket again. But you could have got me in trouble because I just like wanted to get my phone out all the time. But great live. Very funny.
That was fun. Funny. That was fun. Dan was on point that night, should we say. His comedic timing was on point that night. But yeah, that was a fun night.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
Cool. So if we wrap up, if you haven't done so already, go and subscribe to Tony's channel. Do you want to plug your channel, Tony?
No.
No?
I think he's in the bottom corner of his screen, actually, if anyone's interested.
Thanks, though, Nick. Don't want to sound like...
We'll put it in the description as well.
Tony won't plug it, but we might. Go search for Fragdicted on YouTube and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed to his channel. He's got some amazing reviews out there. So go check him out.
Definitely. And if you haven't done so and you're new to our channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button for us too.
Yeah, I would. If you're not subbing to the channel, actually, before you end the video, I've done this before. I'm going to do it on your channel. If you haven't liked the video, just take the comments off, click the like button, and that'll be great, because it does really help with the algorithms on Ruby. Just get the review up a bit. Hit the like button. Don't hit the dislike button, although that might still get your standings up, but you don't want dislikes.
No, definitely.
No. So hit the like button, people, in the comments, please. Thank you.
Just want to say thank you to you, Tony, for coming on.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thank
you. Enjoyed it.
Guest on the channel. So much appreciated, mate. It's been great.
Actually, I'd like to come on, even if it's just briefly. I don't want to take your thunder, but I'd like to come on when Dan's on, because
definitely.
I think I just like people taking the piss out of me. It'd just be another person to do it, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, if you're gonna openly ask him to do that, you better put on your thick skin, because he'll come prepared.
He's very
awesome.
Fun.
Awesome. Yeah. We'll do that.
Awesome.
Do you want to finish off, Anne?
Yep. So we've got our next live on, I want to say, Friday.
Yeah, we just need to check, don't we?
We just need to double check the dates. But if anyone is interested in checking out our lives, we run our lives every week, either on a Friday or a Sunday. Seems to be the most common days that we are available now. They usually alternate. So one week it'll be Friday, the next week it'll be Sunday. So this week, if you are interested, come to check us out at 9:30 GMT. I don't know what it is everywhere else in the world, but just take a look. And if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, do all of those lovely things. But it's that's enough from us for tonight. So we'll say good night. Thanks very much for joining us, Tony, and we look forward to having you back on the channel again.
Thank you. Just one last thing. We've got no live on Sunday this week because of Father's Day, so there won't be a mystery guest live this Sunday. Me and Becca did want to stream at some point this week. We're not sure when, but we won't clash with yours. We'll just obviously see what's going on, but we're quite flexible with that. So looking forward to your next live, boys. Thanks for having me on.
Cool. No worries.
Night,
Good night, everyone. Have a lovely evening.
Good night, everyone. Peace out.